All right, we got Rory McIlroy here on the operating table. We're going to dissect his swing a little bit. He hasn't been playing well early in the season since he got back to the States. And I watched the Golf Channel the other day, and he says he's hitting the driver really, really well, and he's struggling with his approach shots. And that's typical for him. Uh, he's got a lot of confidence in that driver, and he typically, his approach game isn't as strong as his long game. Now, when he's playing well, it's not the story, but when he's playing bad, that's kind of the pattern. And Rory is a push drawer. He comes into the ball shallow and from the inside with a closed club face, and he hits draws. And when you do that with the driver, that's really good stuff. It's a lot harder when you're trying to hit the ball off the ground and compress it. You look at the best iron players on tour; they have a lot of shaft lean. They have a really, really well cleared out left side, and they swing it left through impact a lot. These are the best iron players out there if you watch. And Rory doesn't sit in that mold. He's a in-out swinger for the most part. Square the club face up with his hands and forearms. And when his timing's off, it's just off. He hits left shots with the irons. And 2 weeks ago at the PGA tournament, PGA National, his miss with those irons were left all day, and he played poorly. He had a bad score. And we're going to show you why this is. Now, first of all, what you can't see from this view is his left hand is extremely strong on the club shaft. He almost has 3.5 knuckles showing. I tried to find a face-on view that can really show this, but I really couldn't. But in any event, his left hand is really strong. I mean, it's closed club face city with his left hand. Now he contradicts that or complements that or overcomes that with a very, very weak right hand to a point where both his hands are almost fighting each other. The second compensation you'll see comes at the top of the swing. Let's get him to the top here if I can. Got this thing going in slow motion, but right there. All right, now look at his left wrist position here, folks. See how cupped that is? Again, that's all in an effort to square up the club face. Now, you look at the club face, and it's not even close to being shut. It's pretty square. That's because he's got the left wrist very cupped. All this is an attempt to keep the club face square. Now, the other thing he does, let me get these lines out of here, is he's got a 3/4 backswing, and he's still across the line at the top. If you're going to be on plane, like, let's say Adam Scott, in this position, his club shaft's pointing down this way. And that's just his DNA. He's a right-to-left swinger. He hits the ball right to left. He tacks the ball from the inside. That's just his DNA. That's what he's been doing since he's a kid. He tacks it from in here. He gets the club face rolling shut, and he hits draws. And he's trying to overcome a lot of this, or I should say curb it. He's trying to do less of it. And you'll see him on the range on Wednesdays. The best thing to do is go to the Golf Channel on Wednesdays when they're showing live on the range. These guys hitting shots, and every now and then you get a snippet of Rory. And you're going to see what he does on the range. He's actually physically trying to take the club outside on the backswing and get it laid off at the top. Now, he never really achieves this, but that's the feel he's trying to get. And all in an effort to get the club traveling down the target line and less from the inside. And he does this constantly on the range. And you're going to see him with that. He's got this training aid. I saw him the other day. He's got that big medicine ball, if you will, in between his forearms. And he tries to make his downswing and forward swing with that medicine ball in between his arms. And it helps to a certain extent to not get him across the line. Now, is he ever going to get rid of this position? I don't think he will. It's part of his DNA. And I don't think he should, quite frankly. You got to embrace what you have. But if he can change that just a little bit, he's going to find himself more on top of the ball at impact and swinging down the target line. Now, watch what he does through impact. His hips slow down right about there, and the hands take over and release. And that's what he does. He's, again, a shallow attack angle with a closed club face through impact, and he hits draws. Now, when he hits it bad with these irons, this ball's dropping left hard, and he misses his shots left with the irons. But in my opinion, if he would marry up his hands a little bit better, make the left hand a little weaker, the right hand a little stronger, so they're not fighting each other and at odds with each other the whole time. And then, when his hands are working with each other instead of trying to fight each other, he'll find himself being able to turn left out of the way a lot faster with no hesitation and with no fear of going left with the club face. In any event, it's fun to watch.